Welcome r/Nuclearrevenge. Entitled Latest Porsche Loses Tires. What a hero. Every single healthy disabled parking spot stealer, and every person who says, "But you don't look sick," ignoring a handicap placard, or otherwise bullying a disabled person who needs it, deserves to have this, or worse, happen to them. The world needs more of this. A lot of people treat the disabled as easy targets for abuse, and it's about time they start getting consequences for it. Exactly. I had surgery on my Achilles tendon, which absolutely sucks, and my doc had me get a temp disability plaquette as I was recovering. The first day I was able to walk without a boot and crutches. I was limping from my car, but found my footing, and was able to reduce my limping, and some Karen said, "Oh, you stopped faking too soon." I just looked her in the eye, and said, "This is my first day off crutches, and out of a boot. Thanks for ruining this big day for me." I've never seen anyone turn so red and look so embarrassed in such a short time. Just because you can't see an injury or disability doesn't mean it isn't there. My mother is disabled and almost completely blind, and she's now 54. But this has been going on for at least the last decade. Anyways, I would keep one of her placards in my truck at all times, because I would be the one to take her almost everywhere. I never ever even co-signed red hanging it when she wasn't with me. In comes my aunt, who demanded very nicely, she was polite about it, but wouldn't take no for an answer, that she keep the other one in her car, just in case I have to take you somewhere. And would you believe she used it for her own selfish laziness? Good thing they expire, because she wouldn't give it back, so my mom learned a lesson on that one, and never gave her an updated one. Also, I'm disabled myself. I've been disabled for the past 9 years, and I'm now 33, but I don't need a handicap tag or anything. Mine is all psychological, but I get embarrassed when people ask me very personal questions out of the blue, like, "Where do you work? Why don't you work? Oh, why are you on disability?" Like, really? So the very few times I've even answered, my answer, sounding as genuine as possible, was, "Oh, I'm psychotic," with a smile on my face and cocking my head slightly. I guess it really depends on my mood when I'm asked, but I hate being asked personal questions like that, especially when they are strangers to me. I have a friend I'll call Sid with a hidden disability. His feet have issues. Sid can walk without a limp, but not very far. So he has a placard. He pulled into a space, hung the placard on the mirror, stepped out of his truck, and found himself nose to nose with a cop. "Move your truck or I'll have it ticketed and towed," the cop growled at him. Sid just stared him down and said, "Do you want to lose your badge?" The cop muttered under his breath and stomped off. Apparently, he thought Sid was an able-bodied relative of someone who was handicapped, and had borrowed their placard to get a better parking spot. Okay, that does happen, but you can ask politely instead of being a dick. Jeez. I wish that my city had that. I would love to ticket all the asshole who don't seem to understand how handicap parking works. I'm 36 and my dad was diagnosed with manuscript when I was 5, so our family cars always had the hanging card, and I tell you what, I'm grateful for every single day I have to park in a normal spot. I'm blessed enough to not be disabled. My favorite thing to do whenever I see someone parking in a handicap space without the sticker is to be super nice and tell them, "Just so you know, parking there, even if you're just waiting to pick someone up, can get you a $200 ticket." I would hate for you to have to deal with that. Works every time, even with the most intimidating looking folks. Yeah, I have a friend that has concealed issues. Basically in massive pain as he walks around, but he looks fine. He started to carry a cane to make people less annoying. One cool thing about our city is that any in good standing citizen can apply for and be trained to issue disabled only parking tickets. Unauthorized disabled parking is pretty rare here, and it lets people police the Karens and Chads in their own office lots and such that may not usually get much enforcement. Only issue is, if it's a cheap metal adjustable cane, they just ask, "Or what happened to you?" Like it's a recent injury and you were handed a cane at the hospital. So annoying to repeatedly explain that I'm disabled every time I went out. I finally got fed up, got a proper Ash and Onyx cane. No more questions, thank God, but it never stopped till I had a cane that said, This is a disability, not an injury for me. People. I'm 33 and have had a blue placard since I was 22 due to falling off a roof 4 surgeries later, and some days I still need a cane and park clothes. I can't say I have been kind to anyone who has questioned my need. I found the most effective solution is to completely pretend they don't exist. Nothing pisses off someone like that more than being completely ignored. No eye contact, no reaction, just park, hang tag, and walk away. One time someone started to follow me and ask me if I was deaf. That time I did turn around and pretend to start signing "I don't know sign language" and finishing with a middle finger. I'm a relative young, 40, disabled guy. I screwed up my back in an accident 7 years ago. Some days I need to use the handicap spot and have a placard. The number of times I have been questioned about my need for the card/spot is too damn high. Look, Karen, if my doctor, my neurologist, my pain specialist, the surgeon who cut my back open, and my rehabilitation specialist all agree that a handicapped parking placard is a good fit for me, you need to shut the up. My pops did something similar to this when he was a kid. In the 60s, kids and petty vandalism were pretty much the rage. My dad, being about 12 at the time, was left home with his older brother. The two are hanging with some friends when they get an ingenious idea. Their parents are currently at a dinner party about 2 blocks away. Why don't we go there and deflate the tires? My dad came up with the idea to take needle nose pliers and pull out the little pins in the air intake in the tires on all of the cars there except for his parents' car. My grandfather passed in 2012. My father told him that it was him in 2011 and used the phrase, "How did you not know it was us when your car was the only one not hit?" My grandfather's response: I just thought we were lucky. My dad had stage 4 cancer and we had the card and we live in Florida. This happened to us. This is what happened. Preston takes a handicap space and then while we look around that car pulls out and crashes. The person gets out and they look fine and they didn't have the card. Their car got wrecked. We took their spot. It happens in Florida too much. I loved the revenge. Great work. My stepdad is also disabled, but people often question his disability. I know the frustration. Your story made me laugh on this part though. South Florida was devastated by Hurricane Andrew and my dad just got visions of a man and a hurricane hand in hand stomping on buildings like the big monster things in Power Rangers. My dad also his back up after an accident and got a placard, yet people still don't realize how much effort it takes to get one. He even had to retire early because he couldn't work as anything. Maybe don't question it, idiots. There's a reason he got the placard and that's that. He has proof. If you wanna switch positions with him for the placard, go right ahead. I'm sure my dad would be very happy to not have a rough back anymore. Ask them for their medical certification. When they balk, tell them that practicing medicine without a license is a felony. You could go with, "That placard says I have a right to park there. You don't like it, don't argue with me." Go yell at it. Or you could go the charitable route. Treat them like they are extremely mentally challenged. Where is your carriage Ivor? Are you allowed to be out by yourself like this? Honestly, 99% of people won't give a damn. Put your placard on your mirror when you enter a lot, rather than after you've parked. That way there's a greater chance the morons will see it long before you exit your vehicle. I still get asked all the time, though I notice in nearby bigger and richer areas it's worse. My small town 30 minutes away I only get asked occasionally by lonely/friendly older people who want to chat and will stay for as long as I let them, talking about their injuries and their cousin's disability and how their grandmother had that surgery back when it was this other surgery. The later can be trying, but wanting a conversation is far from just being curious and thinking you've a right to intrude on someone.